to you on this Wednesday morning. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll learn about an event coming up at the Bay City Players, and Bill Anderson will be joining us for that. At 11 o'clock, Jay Sanborn comes a-calling to talk about the Labadee Pig Gig, which is on the horizon. Open phones for this hour, whatever you'd like to chat about it, 989-752-6111. That'll put you in touch with us. Just an open gab fest. Love to do it. Yesterday, I caught a discussion about Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, saying that Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal and he will have him arrested. And I almost had to pull off the road because I was laughing so hard in one way or another. And the reason is, think of how ridiculous a statement that is. That Mamdani is going to have Netanyahu arrested. How's he going to do that? From the time Netanyahu lands in the United States, he will be surrounded by Secret Service, State Department executive protection, local authorities, and his own security detail. Mamdani's officers would never get close to him, let alone be able to arrest him. And I'm saying to myself, why does, you don't like the guy? Fine. You think he's a problem? Fine, say so. But don't make dumb statements like that. You're going to arrest Netanyahu, right? Sure, good luck. See how that goes. We have OK Corral on the airport tarmac. Is that what you had in mind? Just sounded so strange. Let's go up to West Branch to get things started this morning. Michael is up there. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Good.
Great. Art, I think I've come up with a diagnosis in the pathophysiology for Trump derangement syndrome.
Good luck.
Honestly, Art, I think the hatred for this man, for the president, I think there's actually a loss of gray matter. I think the brains have shrunken down to the size of a walnut. The reason I say that is because I've heard callers say that, basically trying to tell me black is white. You've been around a lot longer than I have. And think about this. This is why people support Trump. He campaigned, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what he's actually doing, more than any president in my lifetime. And give me 5 seconds. Art, you said yesterday, close the border. Boom. Okay. He's ending DEI. He campaigned on that. Okay. Ending that madness. I'm going to get men out of women's sports and locker rooms. I'm going to end the surgical and pharmaceutical mutilation of children. I'm going to lower your taxes. America First policies. I mean, I can go on and on all day. He campaigned on every one of these.
He did.
And he probably enacted 75% of them.
Yeah, but that's
now, how can somebody tell me black is white?
Well, because that's not what they object to. You never hear.
Well, okay,
you never hear.
but-
Hang on a minute now. Hang on a minute now.
All right. I'm sorry, Art.
You never hear discussion of those things from the other side. They have. He has a target on his back from them, mainly because, first of all, everything he wants to do disagrees with their philosophies. Secondly, and if you're going to talk fairly about it, you have to admit this. He can be his own worst enemy. His mouth can get him in more trouble more times than I can shake a stick at. And
Well, you're right. He pokes a stick at the other side.
well,
and they don't
and he does it in a way that's that it's gonna prompt reaction. And so
I agree with that.
So what it is, and this I've said this before. As an executive, he's okay. He's good. As a PR person, not so much. Even though his own PR, I mean, for himself, he's great. But that's his problem.
Well, you remember, I don't believe you watched it, but it's the State of the Union address where he said, hey,
I watched that.
stand if you believe. Okay, you told me at the time you didn't watch it, but I suggest
No, I
you go
did
watch
that.
it.
I haven't watched some of the other stuff.
Okay, but anyway, when he said, hey, and everyone stand if you, I'm paraphrasing, if you believe that the primary goal of government is to protect American citizens over illegal aliens.
Yep.
And Fetterman, I think, was the only Democrat who stood. And
that's right.
Most of them sat there with a scowl on their face.
Yep.
So he said they're crazy. And I would add the sixth letter of the alphabet in front of that and a capital in front of that because their policies are crazy. You've seen it, the communist, socialist nonsense.
Well, it's Terry. You know, I had an email from a listener yesterday talking about he was a Republican, but he doesn't recognize the party of Reagan. And in some ways he's right. But I also pointed out to him that the Democrats are no longer the party of, clear-thinking folks who can sit down and debate with you. They're being taken over in the same way that others. My last comment was, is it time for a third party? And
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But
I don't think it's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think there may be cause for it. And the problem with a third party is in order to succeed, you have to have someone who is charismatic, who can capture the voters who don't necessarily vote on issues. They vote on personality, if you will, to carry them forward. And I think that day will come.
Bill Clinton was
he wasn't a third. He wasn't a third partier.
Oh yeah, okay.
And listen, so was Barack Obama. Barack Obama got elected because 4 years earlier he made a heck of a speech at the Democratic Convention, and it put him in the.
He was a good politician. I mean, his policies were ruinous as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
Clinton was an excellent president.
But he had that charismatic personality, and let's be honest, a lot of people vote on that. It's unfortunate, but they do. So, all right.
Again,
go ahead.
So lastly, what is your there's lots of gray matter when you ignore facts. Again, black is white. When people try to tell you black is white, the president isn't doing anything you campaigned on.
Let's understand that in politics, black isn't always white.
I know, but close the border and DEI and get rid of this.
Yeah, I understand all that. We did all that. I understand all that. But that's not what they. First of all, you got to remember a lot of folks on the other side didn't want the border closed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
madness.
Yeah.
Well, have a great day, Art.
You too, Michael. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll take a break, come back. We'll get to Gene. We'll get to Tom when we return.
Campaign season is funny.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and Gene is with us in Bay City. Gene, good morning.
Hi, good morning. The Saudi Arabian prince is one of the most evil men in the world.
How do you know that?
When he had the reporter a couple of years back had him killed, he just didn't have him killed. He had him killed by torture. They cut off his.
Yeah, okay. Well, we don't have to go into the details. We know
he
it.
Cut off his limbs.
So you're going to go into the details anyway.
They have on tape of that man screaming on and on and on. And the one guy that listened to it told the other people, don't listen to it because it was so
where are you going
traumatic. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, where are you going with this?
This week, Trump has said he wants to give the Saudi Arabian prince our classified nuclear information, where eventually they could build a nuclear bomb. What is your opinion on him doing that?
Well, first of all, I don't think he should, but that has nothing to do with that prince. I don't want our information given out to anybody.
I guess my phone is not very good. I'm having trouble hearing you.
I said I don't want our information given out to anybody, that prince or anybody else.
Thank you for that. All these Arab countries in one way or another are against Israel, and I don't understand Trump when he claims to be a religious Christian person, how he can consider giving nuclear power to people that are enemies of Israel. I don't understand why he wants to do that. Do you understand that?
I just told you I don't want our information given out. I don't understand it at all. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't. If he told me he was going to give it to Canada, I'd be against it.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks, Gene. Bye-bye. Here's Tom in Saginaw. Tom, good morning.
Yeah, how you doing, Art?
Good.
Good. I just wanted to mention something about that mayor of New York
Mamdani.
stating that he would like to, Mamdani,
Yeah.
That he would like to arrest Netanyahu, and of course that's completely crazy, and it's actually laughable. And what that mayor of New York doesn't think is that there are two groups that are also helping take care of that man that's trying to protect Israel and do the right thing. And that's the Masood and that's the Shin Bet. And I don't think that anybody that he orders to move on Netanyahu anywhere would do it because of those.
Well, they won't have primary control in the United States. Secret Service and the Executive Protection Service will, plus others. I mean, there'll be all kinds of law enforcement around him. You're right. It was laughable, and that's what I said when I mentioned it earlier. I mean, I almost had to stop my car because I was laughing so much.
I couldn't believe it when you said that, it's so funny. I mean, it's such
it is and it isn't. It's sad in a way because these folks are getting elected, and that is sad. As much as I don't want to see the Republican Party torn apart internally, I don't want to see the Democratic Party torn apart internally either, and that's what's happening in this country.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. And I agree with what you mentioned about a third party. We definitely, I think, need a third party here. We really do.
All we got to do is find the right person.
Personally.
Yep. Yeah, I understand.
That's for sure.
We just got to find the right person to lead it, and I don't know who that is. So
maybe it's Art Lewis.
No, not a chance. Not even a chance.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Got to remember, I'm older than Biden, and you know what happened with him, so I'm not going in.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen with you.
Hey, you're right. It's not going to happen, period.
Right.
All right, Tom. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Bye. And here's Paul in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
Recently, Art, I've been hearing some talk about eminent domain and data centers, and that ain't going to fly with the voters. So my question to you guys is who's doing the most talking about the eminent domain?
I haven't heard much about it. I
haven't
heard much about it. I have thought about it. Haven't heard much about it. I wondered if that would rise to that level. And I first of all, I would not be in favor of eminent domain being utilized for data centers. If somebody was going to build a highway and it had to go through a certain hunk of land, I'd say, all right, that might be a legitimate purpose. But we've seen in the past communities try eminent domain so they could take land from owners and turn them into shopping malls and stuff like that. I think eminent domain has very, very limited use for the public good. And it has to be, to me, demonstrated that it is for the public good. Right. Data centers are businesses. I don't want to see eminent domain used for businesses.
Me either. But isn't the state the one pushing this, or is it somebody?
Well, it would have to be a government body because they're the only ones that can do it.
Right. Yeah, that ain't going to fly with the voters
But
at all.
I have not heard anything about it. So from that standpoint, I'm not worried about it right now. But I'm sure somebody out there is talking about it. Let's face it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, I just threw it out there and see what you guys thought.
Yep. All right. Good enough. Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
And in Mount Pleasant, we find Mark this morning. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Hope you are.
Looking to get your thoughts today. When Obama was elected, what was it, like 69 million votes, and then Trump got 79 million or 70-some million, and then Biden, when he was elected, got 82 million votes. Do you think those votes that were for Biden were all legit?
I don't know. You have to ask yourself, were all the votes for anybody else legit? I'm sure in every election there's been some shenanigans and some votes that probably shouldn't have been counted. Does it go into the millions? Listen, I'm beyond it. I told a caller the other day, you learn from it, but you're not going to change it. You can talk to your blue in the face about voting irregularities. It will change nothing. But what we do need to do is, if there were irregularities, find out about them and change it so it doesn't happen again.
That's what I was going to get to.
And I'm for the SAVE Act. You should be,
Okay.
Listen, what's the old story? I mean, if you do almost anything in life, you're going to get on an airplane, you got to show identity. You're going to, buy alcoholic beverages, you got to show your driver's license or your identity. We don't have to do that when we vote. That doesn't make sense. Now, where I vote, they ask for my driver's license.
Well, speaking of driver's license, in New Jersey, the DMV registered 600 people.
Yeah.
And they said it was a computer glitch. How did that happen? Do you think that happened across the United States that year? Were a lot of people that happened to? Or is it just
I think
that one
I think
issue,
there were
that one area?
I think if you go into every state and examine their voter rolls and examine who deserves to vote and who doesn't deserve, you will probably find a small, operative word there, a small percentage of voters who should not be on the rolls, either because they're dead or because they didn't have the right to vote. I'm sure that's true everywhere because you're dealing with hundreds of millions of people. It makes sense that there's going to be mistakes. Now, to the degree that could shift an election by millions, I have trouble with that.
Well, when everybody gets back in when everybody got a ballot, absentee ballot, I think that was a mistake right there. It just opened up for people to print those. To be honest with you,
I agree. That was not smart, and it shouldn't happen. But that's what you learn from.
But I think that's why that individual Biden got so many votes, as opposed to,
he may have gotten a few.
I find it hard. Obama didn't get as many votes as Biden, and when we were under the COVID, there were cars honking, and you had to have distance between yourself. He wasn't that popular. I just can't see him getting 80-some million votes because Obama was something. He was a reckoning force.
Well,
he was great. He was great at articulating. He had a lot of backing.
Then you have to ask yourself. Then you have to ask yourself, how did Trump get 76 million or whatever it was?
Well, the same thing. He had a great following. He had rallies. You could see thousands of people at rallies. He made sense. He talked about going after in the swamp, and a lot of people like that. I had a President Biden who couldn't put sentences really together,
but you're
and
forgetting
it was hard
something.
to follow him.
Now you're forgetting something.
Okay.
You're forgetting that during that election, after Trump's first term, one couple of things happened. A, the Democrats marshaled their forces, their ground troops, so to speak, and everybody came out to the polls. And B, Biden's intellect or ability to think or whatever you want to call it wasn't a question during the election. That reared its head after the election, well after the election.
Well, there's going to be some tapes that are coming out, I believe, his memoir, that are going to be released. And I think under that election, wasn't those tapes revealed as far as his cognitive thinking?
I don't ever remember his cognitive thinking being a debatable issue during the election itself.
Because he was calling on dead people at one time. They
it is.
played
Listen,
on the radio.
I know there's all kinds of things you can point to. I still
Sure.
do not remember it being an issue during the election.
Okay.
More than after the election.
All right. Well, I would the only thing I ask is if my vote is cast, I just wouldn't want 10 other votes that weren't legit to be able to count.
Nobody does.
That's on both sides.
That's why we have to be.
Sides.
That's why we have to be diligent. All right, Mark, got to run, buddy.
Yep.
Take care.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good one. Bye.
Tim and Dan, hang on. We'll get to you. Let me take a moment to talk about potholes, or at least favorite subject when you hit them. But they can affect the alignment on your car, and that can impact your driving, your tire wear, your safety. Our friends at Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property are offering you a complimentary alignment check, absolutely free. They put it up on the rack. They make attachments to your wheels. They have this big laser machine. It's all digital, and it's very, very accurate. And then they give you a printout that shows you your toe in and your camber, everything that has to do with your wheel alignment. And it shows you if it needs adjustment or not. It all happens at Quick Lane Freeland, and if you want to know how important alignment is, here's John to tell you about it.
If your vehicle's wheels are aligned correctly, it will not pull to the left or to the right when driving. It also prevents improper tread wear, so your tires last longer. A wheel alignment should be checked often because normal steering wear and tear can cause your alignment to go out in addition to potholes and railroad crossings. A correct alignment also reduces rolling resistance on your tires for better fuel mileage.
And, of course, it's safer. Stop in today. Get that complimentary alignment check at Quick Lane Freeland, where, by the way, they sell all their new tires at just $5 over cost. Quick Lane Freeland, part of the McDonald Ford complex. Stop in and visit them today.
Attention, commercial landscapers and...
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Open phones this hour, and Tim is in Midland. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Tim. True conservative here, and I wasn't going to call in again because I don't want to become one of those guys that just calls into these shows and is angry all the time. But I happen to be working from home again, and I hear it short. You had two great points there. The last caller, a gentleman from Mount Pleasant, you're talking about the voter fraud, and I think you answered that perfectly. And it's my stance as well. It's like, okay, Trump is screaming about how much voter fraud is out there, and it's a fraudulent system. It's like, you just got elected on this fraudulent system.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
It's like you're pot calling the kettle black here. It's like, but moving on is like we got cut short yesterday. We're talking about policy, and I'm sorry you had to move on. A lot more important things than me out there. But regarding Trump's policy, and the gentleman from West Branch called in, and if Trump deserves credit for it, I am here. I will give him credit for things, please. But also the other side, DEI gone. Good. But did he do any policy to get rid of it? Maybe he did. I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with it. The women in sports or the men and women in sports, I know he had Riley Gaines in there and they signed something not in the Pentagon, but in the White House. Awesome. Great. 100% behind those things. I mean, common sense conservative. However, we got to look at the other side too. Did Trump, he drained the swamp? Anything?
The swamp is still a swamp.
Oh, it's booming. The military-industrial complex is roaring right now. They are doing business like you can't believe. And if you want to talk about a policy, I don't remember Trump having a policy to go to war with Iran. If they've been such an existential threat to this country for so long, and they're such a danger, why wouldn't he run on that?
Well, I really think he ran on getting out of wars.
Exactly. He ran on just the opposite.
So now I will say this. Obviously, when you become president through a 4-year term, things happen, policies change, and outside pressures may dictate that you do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise.
Maybe Israel? I don't know.
Well, listen, whatever it is, I always listen. When I cast my vote to that person because I expect them to lead.
Yep.
Part of leadership is understanding your current situation and what requires action and what doesn't.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I don't fault politicians who say, well, I'm going to do this, and then they get in the office, and what happens is the reality of the office sets in, and all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute now. I thought this, but now I got to do that.
I would agree with you if he wasn't president for 4 years previously and he ripped up the JCPOA on his watch and said it was the worst deal ever.
Yeah, well, and it may have been, but the reality is, he took the action, and I said in the beginning, I didn't know that I didn't really oppose going after Iran, but I wanted an exit plan. Haven't seen one.
Yeah, there's none.
And you're right. At the moment, there is none. And we keep saying how we've defeated their military, their navy's at the bottom of the ocean, all that. Yet they keep firing these big missiles.
And they're begging for a deal. They're begging for a deal.
Yeah, I don't buy that. First of all, I don't trust them to do a deal. So that's.
I don't either. I don't either. But we've gotten to. The problem is this isn't new. It's like if you rewind 20 years ago, we were in the same situation in Iraq. This is probably a worse situation we're in right now in Iran because it's affecting a global economy. So we got a bigger pickle on our hands right now. But what I'm saying is the policies of Iran, and he didn't say I'm going to go to war with Iran because they are an existential threat to this country. If they're such a threat, they've been such a threat for so long. He's the only one with the courage, which I'm quoting, people with. On the Trump side, he's the only one with the courage to do it. Great, whatever. Why didn't he run? Tell me that when you.
Well, I agree with it. He should have run on it, but it may be that he's the only one with the courage to do it because the situation has existed through many administrations.
It has.
So
why hasn't been? But the whole
and they're not to be trusted.
Yeah, nobody is. But I'm just sick of the Trump syndrome thing too. It's like the left calling me racist.
Yeah, I understand.
Come on, it's a tired argument. It's called Trump disappointment.
Well, you know what?
Now,
what
it's called.
I'll tell you what, though, if the left simply runs against Trump by name calling, you remember back in 24, he was a fascist, he was a Nazi, he was this, that, the other thing. That's all they did. They didn't tell us what they were going to do to make our lot better. They just called him names. If they do that again, they'll lose again.
I see them doing the same thing too. Yeah. It's just like they're against Trump. Yeah. It's like, okay, gotta have.
Tim, gotta go. I'm
thanks,
late here for a break.
Bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye bye. And Dan, hang on. We'll get to you in just a moment or two.
When something goes wrong.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and we go to Saginaw. Talk to Dan this morning. Morning, Dan.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Art, I'm going to change the subject on here and make a suggestion for you and your radio station.
Yep.
I'd like to see, we have a lot of farmers and a lot of food and a lot of things raised within about a 50-mile radius of Saginaw. I'd like to see you have a show with Terry Haney and maybe a sidekick and yourself about all the changes that have been made in the last 60 years or so, how we used to raise crops and how the food was so much better and all these other things that and the equipment changes.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kind of things.
I'll tell you what. I'll do that without the psychic. I'll talk to Terry Haney.
Okay.
And that's it's a very good topic because, being a non-agricultural type myself, I have an interest in that, how it all happened and how it all changed and how technology changes it and what AI is going to do for it and all that, the equipment.
I grew up on a small farm, and I seen the stuff we did, and I see a lot of the things they've done, but he's with this stuff, and he talks to so many people, and he goes to so many shows.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's a farmer by himself, and all these kind of things that he can evaluate a lot of these things with people he knows. And then he talks about how we used to have just a little International H tractor. Now they got a big John Deere that's costing over $500,000 to buy one of these tractors versus one that cost $900, 60 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, there's just so many things, and all the GMO.
It's a good idea.
Change the seeds and the food and all this other stuff.
It's a good idea. We'll do it. I'll get a hold of him. I'll find a day for him.
All right.
Cool. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Take care, Dan. Bye-bye now. And it's a topic that affects all of us. We all eat. We all go to the grocery store. We all buy that food, wonder how it's been produced. And it's a legitimate topic. We'll have to get Terry to sit down with me for an hour, and we'll talk about it. All right. We're going to close out after these notes and tell you what's ahead.
Kia, think Thalen Kia.
Coming up next hour at the Bay City Players this weekend and next, Jekyll and Hyde and its director, Bill Anderson, going to be with us this morning to talk about it. Before we do that, though, news. ABC will bring you up to date on the world and the nation. And then we'll have the local news, and you'll find out about the region and the state. I think Alex is in the newsroom this morning. All of that is coming up. And then we'll be back with the second hour of the Art Lewis Show.
Broadcasting from the